Well, hello, folks out there in YouTube land. Got a big show lined up for you. Let's get right on into it. All right. Yeah, finally a 12-team playoff this year, and the 5+7's been voted on. We're going to explain that. And we got Eli Drinkwitz running his mouth, as usual.
Come after me! I'm a man! I'm 40!
Oh, this guy, Eli, man, he never hushes up, does he? He finally had a good season last year, which good for them. Look, I congratulate them. 11-2 is a very good season, especially coming out of Missouri. They've not been very good for a long time. But he just won't shut up. This guy's got to run his jaw. Now, I didn't do a video yesterday because I was out on the golf course.
I was unavoidably detained.
But what I did do was get bit by a big old mosquito. I'm sure he's happy right now. And that was a big target, too, that he went after. I can't hardly blame him. But anyway, let's get into the playoff situation. I'll explain that, and then let's talk about our boy Eli here. All right, so now we know we're going into the 12-team deal. We're not going to have a situation where Georgia gets screwed over, or Florida State or Ohio State, teams that really should have been in the playoff, but just there's not enough room with only 4 spots. And that's not me dogging on Alabama or any of the others that got in. It's just there aren't enough spots. Now a lot of teams that have really earned the spot will be in there. And the way they're doing it is the top 5 conference champions will automatically be in, 4 of which, the highest rated of those 5, will get a bye, meaning they're 1 through 4, they don't have to play that first game. Then the next 7 highest ranked will get in and they'll be seeded. Now realize there will be one group of 5 team that gets in. It'll be the highest rated conference champion. That could be the AAC, Conference USA, Mountain West, Sun Belt, Mid-America, and all that. So the highest rated conference champion, they'll get in, but unless they're in the top 4 highest rated conference champions, they won't get a bye. And then again, the rest will be 5 through 8, and then 9 through 12. 5 will play 12 at home, 6 will play 11 at home. So 5 through 8, it's very important that they get seated there because they'll get a home game. And of course, the first 4 don't even have to play a game. So I think what they've done is they've really worked hard to make sure the conference championships have stakes. That you're going to watch that conference championship game and you're going to care about it because it gets you a bye, which is huge.
Logical.
And it's also important to finish 5 through 8 because you get home field advantage, which if you've got a Neyland Stadium, it's huge. And then if you're 9 through 12, just be glad you're in because the year before you wouldn't have been in. You'd have been outside looking in like a dog wanting to go out and play, and you don't get to. So I'm glad this is happening. I think this is going to be a fantastic playoff. The viewership will be through the roof, especially the first year. It'll be nuts. The excitement level, the parity now that we've got NIL and all of that. And look, I know a lot of people don't care for the NIL and transfer portal, but what it's doing, it's bringing parity into the game. And you're not going to have 2 or 3 teams totally dominating from now on. You're going to have a lot of teams that have a very legit chance of winning a national title, and that's good for the game. It's good for the sport. If you want to know why the NFL is so successful, besides the fact that football is the most popular sport, it's that every team has a legitimate chance. A lot of people don't watch Major League Baseball anymore because their team has no chance. You know, if you're a team that's spending $50 million on your payroll and there's another team spending $500 million on their payroll, that $50 million team has no chance whatsoever. They will never win a world championship. Whereas the Dodgers or the Atlanta Braves or New York Yankees, it's always going to be those types of teams pretty much that are going to win the championship or whoever is spending the most money.
That's not fair.
Don't raise your voice to me.
You want parity. And now you've got teams like, and we're going to talk about Missouri, who had a great year last year, and a lot of other teams that are going to have legit chances. But since I brought up Missouri, let's get into this guy. Now, if you know anything about Eli Drinkwitz, he has some sort of obsession with Tennessee. He's always talking smack. And, you know, we've handled him pretty well, not had too much trouble beating him until this last year. And he's always talking smack. This was back a few years ago with the whole Jeremy Pruitt situation, and Eli took a jab over the NCAA allegations. And he said, I thought you were going to introduce me by my record. When he was talking to Jim Rome, he said, but with the latest allegations against Tennessee, let's hold up what my record is because I expect them to vacate some wins, and that's going to help my record.
Shallow and pedantic.
I agree as well. Shallow and pedantic.
So he wants to win through vacating wins over the $60,000 worth of impermissible benefits that Jeremy Pruitt gave out through travel and things like that. and also some cash in a Chick-fil-A bag. And quit calling it a McDonald's bag. It's a Chick-fil-A bag, and details matter. So that was the first time he was running his jaw. The second time he got mad because we ran up the score on him back when we were trying to get into the top 4 and get into that 4-team playoff, speaking of playoff, and we ran it up like 66-28. And the truth is, even though we busted them pretty good, they were in the game in the third quarter, honestly. But we did run up the score on him because we kind of had to in order to impress the judges. So he didn't take kindly to that. And the next year when he beat us, he ran up to Josh Heupel. And this is on Zach Reagan's A to Z Sports. And here's where he ran up and he told him, "We stand on business, Josh. We stand on business." Which I don't even know what the crap that really means. I guess that means, you know, we're taking care of business or something along those lines. But anyway, that's a weird way to come up to somebody after winning the game. Obviously, he's a poor loser and a worse winner. He's just a bad sport. That's what the guy is. He is a bad sport. Let's just call him what it is. And he wants attention. He wants everybody to do, look at me, look at me. And that's fine. I hate that we're not playing him this year. It would have been at Neyland, which stinks because I would have loved to have whooped him real good, and I would hope Josh Heupel would return the favor. But unfortunately, that didn't happen. And knowing Heupel, I bet he would have too because he's pretty competitive. But he wasn't done with that. He had to show up at the Missouri game, playing Tennessee the other night. We were playing at Missouri. And he had to run smack talk about the basketball game, of all things.
What you talking about, Willis?
And you couldn't actually hear it. It was Tom Hart, who was actually announcer. He said, "Look at this. Eli Drinkwitz is yelling after a high five from the Missouri mascot he yelled at the Tennessee huddle, 'You ain't that tough.' Still standing on business."
You serious?
What a punk. This guy is a complete and total punk. I may have to take back some of what I've talked about when it comes to Lane Kiffin being the punk of the SEC. Drinkwitz wants that job. He is fighting with Lane Kiffin over who is the biggest punk in the SEC. And I'm going to tell you something. Eli is coming around the corner, and he's coming up. He might overtake Lane, and that's going to be very difficult to do. You know, of course, Steve Spurrier is the grand champion, best punk of all times in the SEC, but Lane is kind of like a runner-up to him. And I actually, towards Spurrier, I always like Spurrier, even though he's a smart aleck. But Eli is coming on strong, and it's going to be tough to see who's the biggest punk, especially now that he's got a good team. You know, we'll see how they do this year. It seems like he's really enjoying his first really successful season since he's been there, which, again, that's not easy to do. I'm not trying to take away from the 1 year of success they had, but, you know, act like well, I guess he can't act like he's been there because I guess he's never been there at this level. But anyway, I did want to cover the punk that is Eli Drinkwitz. And I'm watching the NCAA. We're still waiting on that judge to come out with his ruling on the injunction, whether we're going to get the preliminary restraining order, the PRO. Now, the judge, of course, has already told the NCAA they're going to lose. We already know that. The question is, will there be an injunction put in or a restraining order, which would immediately defang them in the state of Tennessee and Virginia? And then, of course, all the other teams are going to be like, oh, those two states get to do whatever they want and not be bothered. Now the rest of us, the other 48 states, are screwed. Which I don't think the NCAA is going to do much of anything from this point. I really feel like they're chastened. And if they get a restraining order put on them against these two states, it's really going to back them up. But I can tell you, as far as I'm concerned, I'm not anywhere near done with the NCAA. I don't want to stop. I've made that clear. We're going to keep coming at them. It's going to be like Clubber Lang.
I got a lot of them. Come on. There we go again. Clubber coming in.
That's right. We got a lot of more, and I got a lot of more for you too, NCAA. I'm done with them. I don't give a crap. We're going to sweep the leg. We're going to show no mercy. They showed no mercy for us. They wanted to come after kicking us for 2 years over the whole Jeremy Pruitt thing. They wanted to come back for some more. Well, guess what? We're waiting on you.
No mercy.
And you just saw that. We just punched you right in the nose, and we're not done. We're going to keep going and keep going. You're going to have to do whatever it is, that thing. You're going to have to do that swan or whatever it was Karate Kid did. Anyway. If you like this content, be sure to hit that like button. Let's continue to cover all these big stories. If you've not subscribed, it's right there. What are you doing? It just doesn't cost a dime. And you could help me out just that little bit.
Come on.
Come on!
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay.
Dang. Just hit the button. And right over here's the most recent video YouTube thinks you'll enjoy. And we'll see you next time on Sports Talk Jay.